Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. So in today's video I have a demo and first impressions using the Urban Decay Naked Cherry palette. So if you want to see how I created this eye look, then just keep on watching. Alright, so to start off, I already did go ahead and I did use the Urban Decay Primer Potion to prime my lids. I always use this before I do any eye look, so that's already done. So now just to set the primer, I'm going to go in with this first shade right here called Hot Spot, and I'm going to put that all over my lids. Alright, and I did take that all the way up to my brow bone. I just went from my lids all the way up to my brow bones. And now to start off my crease shade, I'm going to take the shade right beside it called Caution, and I'm just going to put that in my crease. Alright, and I do want you guys to see this. There is a ton of kick up in the palette. I'm going to take the shade called Feels right here, and I'm going to add that in my crease. Alright, so moving along, I'm going to take the shade right here called Juicy, just right beside that last shade, and I'm going to add that in my crease as well. Alright, and now just to deepen up this eye look, I'm going to take the shade called Being right here. I'm going to add that in my crease as well. And I do want to focus this higher in the crease. Alright, now I'm going to take the shade right here called Devilish, just to deepen up this eye look. And I'm going to kind of focus it on my outer V. Alright, now I'm going to take this last matte shade in the palette called Privacy, and I'm going to put that in my outer corners. Alright, so now I just want to cut my crease with my Lancome concealer and my Morphe M421 brush. So I did kind of do like a little wing with the concealer, so I'm just going to let this concealer dry and then I'll be right back for the lid shade. So now that my concealer is a little bit dried, I'm going to go ahead with my lid shade, and I'm going to take the shade right here called Young Love, and I'm going to put that all over my lids. It's really pretty. Alright, so I'm going to take my Max Fix Plus just to make the shimmer pop a little bit more. So I'm going to go back and do my crease. I'm going to take the shade called Being once again and put that in my crease. Alright, and then I also want to take Privacy once again and add that to my outer V. Alright, now for my inner corners, I'm going to take the shade right here called Turn On, and I'm going to put that in my inner corners. Alright, now I'm just going to spritz this inner corner color as well. And I'm just going to take that same shade and apply that under my brow bone. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and apply the rest of my makeup, and I'll be right back and let you guys know my final thoughts. Alright you guys, so I did finish this look off with the Urban Decay matte lipstick in the shade After Dark. So I feel like this definitely does go with the eye look, and I try to use as much Urban Decay products as I could with the, not only the eyeshadow palette, but the primer, the lipstick, and the Urban Decay All-Nighter Setting Spray. So yeah, I really do love Urban Decay, and I have quite a bit of products. This is the finished eye look. Alright, so when you get the palette, this is what the unit carton looks like. And then on the back, this is what that looks like. And on the back it says, Naked Cherry is ripe for the picking with 12 all-new sweet and tart cherry hued shades, including shimmering pinks, warm peaches, and deep burgundies. From Bang Bang, aside from Micro Sparkle Pink, our go-to highlight shade, to Ambitious, a deep metallic copper, our new favorite, and Drunk Dial, our weekend obsession. This forbidden fruit has everything you need to create ethereal daytime looks to wildly seductive smoky eyes. With Cherry's fresh vibe, it feels like we're going naked again for the first time. So that is the unit carton. This is the actual palette. It is so freaking cute. I love the cherries embedded inside right there. And when you open it up, it's just like all other Urban Decay palettes. You get the nice mirror, and here are the 12 eyeshadows that you get. And I do have a few other Naked palettes. I don't own every palette. I do have the Naked Original that I recently just got, but since that one isn't a similar, I do have their other palettes that that may be a little bit similar. So I do have the Naked 3 palette, and I also have the Naked Heat palette. So I do want to do side-by-side comparisons. Now, the Naked 3, I wanted this palette for so long because I wanted an all-pink eyeshadow palette, and I just recently picked it up. These are the shadows right here that you get, and I just feel so uninspired when I look at this palette. I feel like these shadows are very bland. They're just so uninspiring. There's not much you can do. I just think that it's so light, especially for my skin tone. So that is what the Naked 3 palette looks like. So I'm going to hold this next to the Naked Cherry. Okay, so the Naked Cherry is on the bottom and the Naked 3 is on top. So as you can see the difference right there. Alright, so now I'm going to compare the Naked Cherry palette with the Naked Heat palette. So this is the only palette that I have with the metal packaging. I definitely do prefer these plastic packaging. I think it's super cute and it's very sturdy. I really like these packaging. So on top is the Naked Heat, and on the bottom is the Naked Cherry. And that is what they look like against each other. Now, I know a lot of people think that these two palettes are very similar, and in my opinion, I feel like the Naked Heat is exactly that. It's more heat tones. You know, you've got your oranges, your more warmer burnt orange, red shades, and the Naked Cherry, even though you might think a cherry might be red, it's more purpley and burgundy. So that is the main difference between these two. In my opinion, if you have the Naked Heat, I still think that you can also get the Naked Cherry, and that it's not too similar. I feel like the palettes are definitely different. I really do like them both. So now I'm going to just talk about the Naked Cherry, the reason why we are all here today. So this palette retails for $49, the other palettes do retail for $54. The reason why is because this palette has less product than the other palettes. I will put everything right here on the screen so that way you guys can see the difference in the palettes of what you get. And this palette does come with a brush like all their other palettes. And I love how this one is pink. It's really pretty. Now, I did not use this brush, so I'm not sure how good these brushes are, but it does come with a brush. Now, I did use every single matte shade in this palette, and I used 2 shimmer shades. So I used I used 9 out of 12. So my overall thoughts on this palette. So starting with the pros, I love the color scheme of this palette. I really do love these kind of colors, like these purpley, pinky colors on my skin tone. I really do enjoy that. I love the packaging and everything. Now, the cons for me, I feel like this palette doesn't come with a nice highlighting shade. I used the shade right here, Turn On, in my inner corners, and I feel like it's a little bit more pink, not like a champagne color. So it would have been nice if there was a nicer highlighting shade. And also, I think that for every look that you're going to kind of get the same eye look. Now, I did just use it today for the first time, but it just looks like there's not much you can do with this palette. It's not an everyday palette as well. Like for me personally, I prefer browns, neutral, bronzes. These colors are beautiful, and I do love these colors, but for every day, I don't think that it fits me personally. Also, there is a ton of fallout in this palette. I was actually surprised because I don't remember there being that much fallout in Urban Decay shadows. There might have been. I'm not really a big fan of these Urban Decay palettes. I don't like that when you put your brush in, it's hard to use. Like, I like when the pans are more circular. I feel like it's easier for your brush to go in because these are so tiny that it's just hard for your brush to go in. So hopefully that makes sense. So I just hope that you guys can understand what I mean when I say that I do really like this palette. I normally don't reach for Urban Decay palettes just because I have a lot of other palettes that I reach for more, but I really do like this palette. It doesn't mean I don't like it. I really do like their palettes. I just don't reach for them as much as I do other palettes. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. I definitely do like this palette. I think that is worth the $49. I think that if you guys are eyeshadow palette collectors like me, that you will definitely enjoy this palette. I think that if you love purple shadows, you will definitely get a lot of use out of this palette. I think that, you know, if you guys love Urban Decay, you will love this palette. Now, if you guys aren't into purpley shadows, you will not get a lot of look out of this palette just because that is what you are getting. You're getting a bunch of purples and you're getting pink. So if you're not into that, then I would pass on this. And if you guys don't like a lot of fallout, you might not like this palette. And if you guys are just looking for a one palette, you won't like this palette because there's not a lot of neutral bronze everyday shadows that you can get from using just this palette. So another con that I wanted to mention in this palette is that, in my opinion, I think that these shimmers aren't as blinding as I would like in a shimmer shadow. I did have to use MAC Fix Plus to make my shadow pop on my lids in my inner corner. So yeah, that is definitely a downfall for me because I love shimmers that pop and that are metallic and blinding. That is just my personal preference. If you like a more subtle shimmer, then you will definitely like this palette. I do think that Urban Decay shimmers aren't the most shimmering, metallic, blinding shadow. So if that's something you like, then you will probably like Urban Decay shimmers. But for me, I do have to use Fix Plus to make them pop. I do think that the matte shadows, however, are very pigmented, blendable, and I had no trouble with these. Just the shimmers aren't as pigmented as I would like them to be. I do think that you get a nice selection. I do wish that they were a little bit more neutral, brown, matte, transitional shades. It's a lot of purples and pinks, but it is nice for a palette in a cherry theme. However, it would be nice also if there was a red shade or like a cherry shade even. That would be nice. But yeah, that is just my overall thoughts on the shadows. So yeah, I hope that my review was helpful for you guys. If you guys have any questions or if you guys want to see any more tutorials using this palette, then I'd be more than happy to do that for you guys. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe down below. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell. That way you guys are notified every time I upload. And I hope to see you on my next video. Bye guys.